Hey there.
What do you want, human?
I took the rover all the way down into the canyon. Unfortunately, that's where I hit a wild ostrich, and now the thing won't drive. Heard you might be able to help get it back here.
And why exactly would we want to help you? We who are just monsters to you and your kind, even here. One of us was just lynched. And what did your kind do about it? Nothing. And when we are sick, what one of you would help us even in fair exchange for serum? Why then, answer me, would we help you now?
I understand why you're angry, but none of that has anything to do with me. Do you think people are any nicer to Technomancers? If so, you're wrong. If they weren't so busy being scared of us, I'm sure they'd hang us too.
Yes. Brothers in pain. Outcasts should stick together. We will get your machine, but it will take some time. It will not be easy on our ostriches. And we can only do it at night. Give us 12 hours.
That works for me. Thanks.
I can imagine that you're surprised to see so many mutants moving freely around here. I know that it's not the case in Fear. Their life isn't easy here. Racism, segregation. I am so grateful I'm not a mutant. Gotta respect their courage, though. Living with this hatred, this daily dose of contempt, seems like a giant test of character. Don't expect them to be at your beck and call. They'll most likely ask for something in return for their services. They are a free people here.
As expected, I knew that these ruins were just small dwellings, and that these relics are not the ones that'll be of good use to us Technomancers, everyday items used by the settlers. However, they have a significant religious value. I wonder if I should keep them. It could turn out to be useful. Alicia.
Hi, Zach. Repent! We won't have access to the Blue Paradise so long as we are not all absolved of our sins. You came here to wash your soul?
I had something else in mind. I think I found all the relics in the canyon.
Even if you were willing to give them to me out of charity, I would be ready to pay for them. We had a number of donations recently.
Here, you've got them all.
Praised be the Shadow! Each one of these objects takes us closer to the great reconciliation. May you be blessed. I will pray for you.
Hey, Brad.
Zachariah, how's the hunting?
I've got your last specimen.
Oh my. A sample of the black mole. I can't even... If you only knew the contributions you're making, the discoveries from the storm locust glands alone. Groundbreaking. And I'll be sure to cite your contribution in all my papers. You've earned it.
A dream come true. Really. You have another sample you're looking for?
Indeed. The shield toad supposedly resides around the Mutant Valley. If you could, I would love to study its skin. Little is known about it. Mutants don't really disclose much about their city, but for a hunter like you, I'm sure capturing such a specimen shouldn't be a hassle.
I'll do my best. What can you tell me about the storm locust?
Locusta tempestatus. Well, very little but what has been told to me, actually. It is a creature, by all word, that seems to feed on electrical sources. Looks like an ordinary locust, which we know also shares the taste for electricity, but it's much larger. Perhaps its purportedly massive thirst for electricity is simply in proportion to its size? I don't know, but I'm hungry to find out.
What do you know about the black mole, besides the fact that it's black?
Well, its name is somewhat of a misnomer. It isn't really black. Darker than the others for sure, but not black. Its skin, though, seems to sweat venom. Wonderful, isn't it? Imagine. What a wonderful defense.
Yeah, wonderful. Always dreamed of catching poisonous moles.
Isn't it fascinating? A beautiful scientific mystery.
Already expecting the worst, but, why is it called the shield toad?
Those who have had the rare opportunity to see this beautiful creature say its skin is nearly armor-like. In fact, nothing seems to be able to pierce it. No arrows, not even conventional weapons. The hunters take their best shot, but always run away terrified. Delicate little things humans are, but there has to be an explanation for this extraordinary mutation, and I must find it.
Zechariah, what can I do for you?
I moved the rover for you. If Ophir finds the rodent, it won't be because of me.
Yes, I already heard. Sorry if the request seemed paranoid. Better safe than sorry.
You want to attack a convoy to reignite a war? You know how many people die in those wars? How many are mutilated? Taken prisoner?
Not precisely, but I think I have a clear idea of the numbers, yeah. Every battle has its purpose, Zechariah Mancer. Abundance has fought Aurora for years for more power, out of idealism that their philosophies are more righteous than Aurora's. We don't just fight the corporations because of their damned ideals. What we do for our survival. For the survival of the misfits of Mars, the rejected, the poor, the outcasts of corporations. We fight for those who find a home with us, those I promised to protect. This mission worries you, and I get that. I do. Which is why I'm not asking you to attack your old brothers in arms, but rather just carry out the same attacks you did countless times before, under different command.
How'd you find out about my brothers so quickly?
Well, besides the fact that your accident and eventful arrival slowed you down, my messenger sandsails make up in speed what they lack in protection. And of course, the arrests of Abundance's most powerful strike forces were worthy of dispatching agents to keep an eye on the situation. You haven't even given a thought to how this disrupts the current balance of forces, have you?
You know why they were arrested?
The official statement is that they were suspected of treason. Victor's pretext, I'm sure. He's a man who hates anything not under his control. Was probably planning this for quite a while. He didn't get what he wanted going at it indirectly, so he just took it head on. Whatever hope you have for their lives, I'd start to come to terms. They're probably being tortured for their secrets as we speak. And as soon as they give them up, they'll be executed. If you care about them...
So, just when I thought shit couldn't be worse. Her engine's been blown like a John in a whorehouse. Gonna need some spare parts now. A stator, a thermic regulator, a rotor. With only a few rovers out there, it's not like you can just grab those parts from the nearest merchant. There is one in Ophir, though. He used to have a machine for me from scratch. And I heard there may be someone else here in Noctis who sells them too. However, when it comes to prices, since we don't have abundance of support, it's not the same anymore. It's gonna cost you an arm and a leg, honey. I wouldn't mind seeing you go broke, but there are other options. Let me think. In my shed, I had a replacement stator ready to go. I imagine that the area is closely monitored, but if you manage to sneak in, maybe you could recover it. I also had a delivery waiting. The quartermaster, Ryan Stewart. I imagine he must still have a rotor in his inventory since I'm not there anymore. It won't be easy to get it back, but that's your problem.
I go back with Ryan. Know his inventory well. Though with all those soldiers in the barracks, it'll be a tough nut to crack.
The final option's a robber I heard of who parts everything he fucking finds. Not a guy I'd want to grab a drink with, but I heard he's got spare rover parts. May have one of the ones we need. And I've heard that he wasn't interested in serum. Maybe you'll have to take chances, who knows? Anyway, it could be a lead. One last thing. I found the tools I'll need. However, I was in such a rush that I forgot to take my serum. I don't have a single drop of it left. And since around here they don't give away freebies...
Here, take this. You will be able to buy your tools.
Well done. Wow, this is great. You just have to go get me the parts now.
I'll take care of it. The shed, Ryan's inventory, the looter, or if I want to go broke, the merchants. See? I remember everything.
What's good, Zechariah? Got my parts yet?
Keep your pants on. Still working on it. Besides your rovers, what else makes you happy here, Amelia?
Nature. Not the bugs or animals and stuff, but the landscapes, you know? Sunsets, mountains scraping the sky, red water trickling down the hills in the spring, gray lichen floating in the morning breeze. Back in Ophir, I used to take the rover out before sunrise just to take it all in. Always managed to put things in perspective, you know? How small we all are.
Amelia the poet philosopher. Who'd have thought it?
Why you gotta be a smartass?
Aha, I'm not. I was being... Just never saw that side of you. The passion. Makes me want to take a rover out before dawn tomorrow.
Well, let's go together. I've always wanted to share it with someone.
Tell me more about you growing up.
What's there to say? I was a ward of the state in Abundance's centers. It was lonely and, you know, the other kids were assholes, but I gotta tell you, those times my dad returned from his missions, and I got to see him, best times of my life.
Wait, what? I thought the reason you'd been placed in a center was that your dad disappeared.
Who the hell told you that? No, I was real young when they took me away. My parents were always off on missions, and someone had to take care of me, you know? I don't even remember living with them. Honestly, I don't want to talk about it.
Sure, sorry. Yeah, of course. Are you seeing anyone at the moment?
What, you mean a boyfriend? No, not right now. You applying for the position?
I mean...
Look at your face! You can't even come up with something to say. Listen, you don't look half bad, soldier. Won't take too much for me to cuddle up with you at night.
Hey.
Hey, back.
What happened that day?
I had a surge. A big one. One even the Masters never saw coming, literally. Before they even knew what was happening, I electrified everyone and everything around me. It screamed like thunder from my body, before the ceiling itself finally collapsed in on me. I woke up in the infirmary without an arm, surrounded by all those powerful Masters who stood there shaken, whispering, their eyes still filled with fear. And everything went dark again, and I woke up in a sand sail.
Why aren't you with your family?
Right, my family. They were small-time merchants. I'm sure real proud their son was gifted with Technomancy and was joining the school. But they were also scared as shit of me for the same reason. We're all scared of what we don't understand. It's why so many fear us both. Not that I'm sure any of the Masters even asked them to take me back. It was more important to them that I disappear for good, to hide what happened, keep the illusion of their infallibility intact. Also, to hide the fact they had people among them who had the power to take down entire buildings. No, I had to go. In some ways, they even did me a favor.
And you never tried to reconnect with them? Even after you got free?
No, I looked for him. Even tracked down my father. He was just this old man. Didn't even recognize me. And if he did, he'd probably just hate me for what I've become. A crippled outcast, not something you'd put your pride in. So I let it lie, just walked away.
What about your gift? I thought people died if they didn't use their fluid.
It's a myth. There are rogue Technomancers out there. Not a lot, but a few. They know how to control their fluid surges. Probably the only thing that piece of shit Marcelo could take credit for. He introduced me to one of those guys, and after that, I learned to control it the hard way. The irony, no? I'll never be a Technomancer now, but I control the fluid better than any of Abundance's masters. Not for power, just to make sure my own brain doesn't fry.
What have you been up to since you left?
What have I done? Well, after spending 10 years of my life as a slave trying to pay that piece of shit Marcelo back for what he called my debts, traveled in his luggage hold, did his dirty jobs, whatever he needed to get his business going. Carried crates, drove sand sales, shoveled sand, ran errands, but mostly just picked his customers' pockets. I traveled a lot, though, if I'm going to find any silver lining in it, and have earned my damn place here in Noctis. Even if the price of that has been rarely sleeping in a real bed or reading a book that wasn't about accounting.
Should have remembered you. Back when we were kids, the world just revolved around you.
Really? How so?
I know it nearly killed you, but you were so gifted. While the rest of us worked, Technomancy just came so easy to you. It was amazing to watch.
The fact that it was easy is what cost me so much. The high I got from manipulating so much fluid was... well, you saw the result. If I talked for 1,000 years, I couldn't even touch the tip of the regret I have.
You can't blame anyone but our professors. They should have known better. How could you? They just got sucked into watching your power like the rest of us. It was hypnotic.
Too bad all that power isn't enough to let me go back in time and change it all. But I guess what's done is done.
Zach, perfect timing. You remember Abby Goodman, friend of mine you helped before?
Yeah, of course. She really your friend, or all just part of the cover you had going on?
No, no, she is. She's a spy for Noctis too, though. She's actually been working on something for me and finally managed to get some info I'd been trying to get.
What information was that?
I spent a part of my life in a rehabilitation camp after my arrest in Ophir. It was the worst time of my existence, and I've always wondered how I'd ended up here. Who had turned us in? We were just a group of street kids. We would steal food here and there, but we weren't dangerous. However, we were arrested and deported to a camp like hardened criminals or terrorists. What happened followed me for many years, until I learned that an important member of the Vori clique was responsible for the deportation of dozens of people. Most of them were innocent, but a nuisance for the mob. I want to find that guy. I want to know if it's he who got us deported. I want to understand why and make him pay. For me and my companions, of course, but also for those poor people who hadn't asked for anything.
I'm sorry, but I can't come with you right now.
I see.
How the hell did you go from being an artist in Ophir to a spy in Noctis?
Less of a stretch than you think. After all, a good lie, like good art, has to be close to your reality, right? Truth? I was an orphan. Parents did die, and I was on the street and got sucked into a gang. We all got arrested pretty quick and ended up in a rehab camp. Swore I'd die there a couple of times because I wasn't gonna let him brainwash me, and they didn't take too kindly to that. I took the beatings, but got to keep my mind. Then the day came. Noctis attacked. They freed a lot of us and brought me here, took care of us, gave us a chance to have lives again. So I felt like I owed them something in return, and offered to go back to Ophir as a spy. Good thing, too. Otherwise, who would have torn you out of Victor's grip and brought you back here?
You always been alone? Or never had anyone you cared about?
You mean guys? Why? You the jealous type, Zach? Afraid of some competition? Scared you won't measure up? There was one guy, Nick. I was only 10, but I was head over heels for him. He died in the rehab camp after we were all deported around the same time, though. Other than him, couple flings here and there, but nothing much more serious than that. You asking because you heard the rumors in Ophir that I'd sleep with anyone wearing a medal?
No, I was just...
I did what I had to do. Zach. To do my job, never cared about those guys. That's the truth.
You just did what you had to do. You miss making music?
I miss performing. I mean, I still sing for myself here and there, write new lyrics when I feel inspired. But the moments I shared with my audience, it was so intense when I felt everyone humming with me.
How about you sing for me?
Maybe another time. But I'd love to. There's something intimate in sharing your art, like sharing your soul. It's why I feel like music can unite people across corporations, on opposite sides of wars or causes. It's simply beautiful. And in between the notes, our differences seem to disappear. The second all this ends, I'll get back to it. It's what I was born for, and I'm not one to deny destiny.
You, sir, just came at a fortunate time. I just stocked new merchandise.
I need some information.
If it's about anything you see in here, I'm happy.
When will I ever get my delivery?
Stop being so impatient.
While the prince is chatting, my brain just sits there. My perishable.
Welcome, welcome.
I'm looking for spare parts for a rover. A stator, a rotor, and a thermic regulator.
I have a rotor, if you want. The rest, those are rare pieces you're after, you know.
Here. For that price, though, it better be in working order.
It's brand new, from what I know. Came from a mechanic who took it from one of those big wind turbines. Take it. It's yours.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Hello?
Oh, hey there. Need something? Got a lot of mechanical stuff.
You're a robber, right?
Don't like that word. Don't consider myself that. I recover things people leave behind in the desert. I take nothing from nobody. Got cool things, though. Collect it, repair it, trade it.
When you say people who left stuff in the desert, you talking about settlers?
Sure. Yeah, in part. Found some settler items in the ruins, but my stock is interesting things from all over. Shadow paths, and even places pretty much in the middle of nowhere. I even found an old rover. Out of commission and in bad shape, yeah? But there was some cool parts I salvaged. The driver was dead, so I figured I could make better use of it than him.
I see. I was told you might have spare parts for a rover. I'm looking for a thermic regulator.
Oh, yes, I got one of those. Hard to find, very hard, very rare. Hard to come by. What would you give me in return?
What do you want for it?
Well, I see two possible trades. I'd love to get my hands on some of that focus drug. I know it's not meant for us, but it gives me a nice buzz. Otherwise, you're a Technomancer, aren't you?
Yeah.
Good. Well, I like to poke around old places, and just the other day I found a Technomancer glove, but I can't seem to make it work, like most all the Technomancer stuff I find. Well, I can repair most things, but this, I don't understand how it works, what am I supposed to do? But I'm sure you do. So repair it. In front of me. You fix, I watch. You teach, I learn. So in the future, I can do the fixing myself. Got it? You do this. I'll not only give you your thermic regulator, but let you walk away with the glove, too.
Maybe. Let me think. About that rover.
Yeah?
All right, I'll show you. Watch close. There you go. Not exactly like new, but it works.
That's fantastic. You know how much Technomancer gear I have in inventory that I can fix now? Oh, you're a good man. Here, keep the glove and take your rover part. I don't need it anyway. Take care.
See you around. Hello, Phobos.
Hello, Zachariah.
What really happened with your mother? I must say I didn't understand much. That stone? The police's arrival?
My mother was helping me as much as she could to carry out my mission. She would provide me with information, sometimes hide mutants on the run before they could leave the city. She was a wonderful woman, Zach, but someone turned her in. Fiorello heard and raced to get me out with your aid. Though how I yearned to save her, to get to the slums to warn her. But I knew I could not. You, though, could. The stone was a token of recognition. She knew what it meant. If she was turned in, she had to leave as soon as possible. And if she couldn't, the drawing was made with an ink made of jellyfish venom.
But why give her that poison?
I didn't want her to die, Zach. I loved my mother. But I knew what the ASC would do to her in their jail. If they caught her, she needed a way to avoid being tortured.
When did you discover that you were a mutant?
The first symptoms of mutation appeared when I was very young. I must say that I can't really remember very well. My mother noticed them, and she taught me how to hide the marks, even though I think that I didn't know what it meant. She was hoping to keep me close to her, but as soon as the first marks appeared on my face, they spotted me out right away. I will never forget my arrest, how violent they were toward my mother. I was just a kid. I was sent to one of the farms on the outskirts of town. That's where I learned what it meant to be a mutant.
What's the Mutant Nation? You created it, right?
It is a little overblown, but I was one of its founders, among many others. Of course, other mutants were living outside the city as runaway slaves, hidden here and there, stealing whatever they could find in order to survive. A small community had settled in Noctis and benefited from the hospitality of the merchants, who allowed them to move around freely. However, we did not have any way to defend ourselves or plan a future. We were all spread out. A few of us decided to get together. We found a place, a very unique one, and we soon started doing it up, bringing in equipment and erecting houses. As for me, I especially wanted to free as many brothers and sisters as possible. So I went back to Ophir, and I realized that nobody cared about mutants, especially if they didn't look very smart. I began to help dozens of them escape. And our nation soon began to grow. There are a lot of us now, and I hope that all mutants will be able to live there someday.
Zachariah! Captain, good to see you.
Always, Lieutenant. Zach. Thought you'd look a little worse for wear, but you look good. I should probably be pissed that you stole one of our rovers. I guess you didn't have much of a choice. What do you need? If you're here for help, start talking, because every second I'm around you is a bona fide hazard, and I don't want to have to steal a rover myself.
How are things? Heard there have been a few changes.
Thanks to your escape, yeah. Now most Technomancer officers are treated like traitors, and the Army's barely got a voice now that it's under control of the ASC. Can't tell friend from enemy anymore. Everyone's watching their own back, suspicious of everyone else. Paranoia is caught like a virus. I don't know what's going on, but I am worried what it means for our corporation. We're sinking into an era of terror, beginning to act like the very Aurora fascists who we hate, who had their own men assassinated.
Traitor! Get him!
free you. You and all the others. We must go, though. Now.
Ah, Zachariah. My faith in you was not misplaced.
Yeah, come on, we're going to take you down!
They're coming, Zachariah. Go! There's a dome hidden in the desert. One spoken of in the tablet you brought me. Find it.
You won't get away!
They're here. Lead our kind through the crypt. Save them.
Come on, guys!
I won't leave you.
There is no time to debate. Go! For God's sake. How?
Great Master.
Go on. I will help him. And tell Andrew. I am sorry.
But
Flee, Zachariah! Protect our kind!
Move, you idiot! They're overloading us!
Zachariah? Is anyone missing?
Victor's men came like a storm with that piece of shit Alan beside them. If we were gonna escape, they had to be stopped. At any cost.
And so your great master sacrificed himself so you could... And take the others.
This isn't a good time to just hang around here. This isn't a good time to just hang around here. Take this elevator straight to the sand sails. From there, the merchants will take you to Noctis.
Are you the legendary city of the merchants for real? Amazing! But what about the other Technomancers who escaped the ASC too? Are they going to be able to...
Talk to the merchant running the sand sails. I'm sure he'll be able to help them too, and they can join us in Noctis with other caravans.
Zachariah, thank you. What would have happened to us without you?
Good day. Care for some merchandise, officer?
Zachariah, the great hero of his brothers, has returned triumphant. Amazing, against all odds, against a city. Bravo! But I don't see anyone resembling the great master. Is he...
Dead. He sacrificed himself so we could get out.
Oh, so sad. Truly. Well, please tell your colleagues, your brothers, they are welcomed here. Let them rest and regain their strength. I can only imagine what the ASC put them through. And without their great master, they must feel lost. On top of it all, feel the void for a leader among them. No?
What are you getting at?
Just simply that, as their hero, it might be in their best interest for you to fill that void. I don't purport to understand how these things work among your kind, through a vote or drinking game, but you've earned it. They need you to pull them back together after what they've been through. And to have a unified group of Technomancers among us to serve would be valuable beyond imagination. Think about it.
I'll think about it. But now's not the time. We need to mourn the fallen.